you know, bouncing back from a couple injuries that have hampered him in the past couple of years, but right now it doesn't look like he's missing a beat. But Jadson Andre has entered the water to go up against Seth Moniz. They've got 42 minutes on the clock. This was Jadson's first wave.
I love the way he surfs this wave. He is so quick. He's got, you know, a nice style, nice approach, radical, really quick. That windshield bash that he did on the inside.
This is Seth Moniz. Speaking of exciting, he got one of the best waves we've seen of this entire contest in his previous heat. Hopefully that momentum will continue on with the young Hawaiian, as right now he's going up against Jadson Andre, who also has a lot of mojo coming from his earlier round. Both these surfers really enjoying themselves down here at Barra De La Cruz. And you know, it's something pretty cool. The last couple of heats have had this where Seth goes to the air, comes down with it, makes it look easy. That was not easy. The last 4 or 5 matchups, and the current matchups we're seeing in the water, they're all goofy versus reg. Seth Moniz, this was the wave just before that Slater wave.
And we know that Seth has none other than Reynolds Hayes in his corner. Reynolds is doing an excellent job with Malia Manuel, who had a standout performance yesterday afternoon in very similar conditions to what we have today. Seth, you can see how he's smart about staying with the wave, narrowing the stance a little bit. He wants to be light on that surfboard, just nursing it, just waiting for it to do something exciting on the inside. I thought he was going to go to the air on that first maneuver, but he was smart to just bash it and do the air here on the inside with a very tricky land as he was spinning around, all of the weight on the heel, and somehow manages to ride on clean.
Answering back, Jadson Andre. 12 o'clock, boys, goes beyond vertical twice. Two absolute hammer backside turns from Jadson Andre. He is winding up and throwing haymakers. Now has some time to relax, generate speed down the line, goes up into the lip again. I mean, Jadson's looking like he's feeling fresh.
I loved it.
This is probably the most sparked up I've seen Jadson all year long.
As we see Jaddy, look at this turn.
Well, he needs water because he's on fire.
Big turn. Love that one, Chris. You can see how this wave really lines up for him, especially through this midsection. Clean bash. Talk about not having too many options on your backhand as far as variation goes, but he somehow does everything. On every turn, he did something different and finished it really, really strong. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that score goes excellent.
Those first 2 turns warranted a big number as Jadson makes his way back out in the lineup. He's excited now. His countryman, Jadson Andre, on his backhand. Jadson got a 7.83 and a 5.50. Currently winning the heat over Seth Moniz, but they have 30 minutes to go, so plenty of time there. Jadson got for us at the end, goes for the backside reverse.
Makes it look so easy. Pair of waves caught by Mickey and Jadson as we focus our attention now on Seth.
Seth Moniz with a good section in front of him. Up, over, and over the falls.
Tricky. He tried to go a little bit too vertical. Bowl of the wave, thick, and running away from him.
Power was second to none today, especially on those opening sections. Mitchell, we got to get caught up with Hawaii's Seth Moniz.
Yeah, his best wave so far, Joe, 6.67. Now needs the exact same score to get into the lead, and this was not a heat that I expected from Seth. The first 30 minutes, really out of rhythm. His best wave so far had been a 4.5, and he gets a strong finish right here.
It didn't look like a wave that was better than the ones I'd already had, but he didn't need his highest score. He needed like the 3rd highest score of the heat, and if he gets that backside going, and those medium, the big waves are the ones you want, obviously.
Jaddy in motion with 2:45 to go.
Important wave.
Big vertical turn. Nice hammer again for Andre. That wall just still standing up for him, and he doesn't have to chase it. It's coming right to him. Series of nice vertical hacks. Andre shuts it down, but ends up almost recovering in such an awkward way. He was actually underwater backwards and almost pulled himself back up.
This is the wave. Now or never.
Seth Moniz has to go. Still waiting on the score previous of Andre. Doesn't change the situation. Moniz needs a 6.67 on this wave. There's the carve. The heat is over. This wave counts. Surfing well with those sweeping frontside hooks. He needs this thing to give him an inside track with a big bowl and an end section to work with. That's going to hang him up for a moment. Now starting to drive. Forces the punt, and it's not going to let him find a landing. And Moniz has run out of time.
That one barrel at the beginning, it was in the 8-point range, and looking at the replay right here, he let it all go, Joe. He tried to get it. Beautiful arcs right here from the young Hawaiian surfer. And he felt the mana, the energia right here at the end of the heat, but the wave just never cooperated just as he needed to. Needed something close to a 6.67 that he just has in the scoreline, and I don't see it happening. I think this is the biggest win of the year so far for Jadson Andre.
Moniz out in the round of 32. Andre continues into the round of 16 here at Barra De La Cruz. Still 21 minutes to go in the day to finish up the last heat of the round of 32 with Mateus Hurdy and Griffin Colapinto. We'll be right back.